Hi everybody, so we're here today with Brenda. She's the founder of the Wishing Well Sanctuary, and this is our second time being up here. We're happy to be here again. Thanks for talking to us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. So I guess to start off, we just want to know a little bit about sort of the background of the sanctuary, how you got started with doing such a big endeavor to help animals and really spread the word of compassion and stuff like that to the public.
It's a big question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been a lifelong passion of mine, animal protection. So I grew up with dogs, and as I grew older and learned more about animals raised for food, it became really clear to me that, based on the billions and billions of animals, the numbers are staggering, and the few spokespeople that work on their behalf, that would be a good niche for me. And of course, I love kids, and I believe in the power of education. So it seemed like a perfect marriage to dovetail all these together. So while, of course, we talk about empathy and compassion, we have school children coming, we have workshops for adults as well. I really want to help people feel better so they make better choices, which will obviously then positively impact the animals and, frankly, the whole world. The environment needs our help too. We need each other.
Yes, absolutely. So what year did you open the sanctuary?
Well, I bought the property quite a few years ago, but to me, sort of the clock started ticking October 11th, 2011, when the first truck came. It was very exciting. With 9 cows and 5 sheep. They drove up the driveway on a cold, rainy day, and the animals quite happily got off the truck. I think they knew that they were safe at last. Yeah.
Yes.
And they went into the barn and into the paddocks, and yeah, it was just from having no animals here at all to suddenly having 14 big, beautiful beings. It was it felt like all the energy changed. It felt like this is exactly what was meant to be here.
Yeah.
This is what we were saying when we first walked into the sanctuary. Like, you can feel the shift of the energy right away. It's an amazing feeling. I know on the website there's stories for a lot of the animals that are here. Can you tell us about any of the stories from some of the animals that you've rescued?
Yes, lots of stories, of course. I think the one that stands out the most prominently and poignantly for many of us who've been here for a few years was the story of Wally that came. And Wally was a pot-bellied pig that arrived. He had fecal and urine burns all over him. He was a wreck. He hardly had any hair on him. His nails were so long that they went up like this. He could hardly walk. It's called slipper foot, so they need to be trimmed. And he was terrified of people. So anytime anyone would get anywhere near him, he would scream and like run to the back up to a wall. And we didn't think he was going to live even a month. I mean, he was just a wreck. He was skinny and he was just horrible, mentally, physically. And but obviously we gave it our best shot at him, and we all fell in love with him instantly. And with enough love, like for all of us, right? He came around. I mean, we gave him lots of extra, medical care and homeopathic stuff, and love. And he chubbed out. He started to look like he should have looked. And he became he was really such a delightful pig. And he'd have a little treat in his mouth and trot around. We called it the Wally Walk because he just was so proud of himself. Yeah, and he really he loved everyone, and we loved him. And unfortunately, he became sick, and we kept him upstairs here, and we were with him 24 hours a day. He died within a week, and he's buried on the property, of course, with a beautiful marker and an outline of the pig and X's and O's. And we love you, Wally. And so he was with us for a year and a half. So he had a good year and a half. But the vet said, his organs, because of his initial neglect and abuse, they didn't have a chance. I mean, they were so badly damaged that, in spite of him outwardly and certainly emotionally looking better, the minute he got something, a bit of a bug came by, he just, he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, right.
So it's very sad. But, so all the animals that are here have come from various degrees of abuse and neglect. A couple of them actually were loved. We have 2 roosters here that were deeply loved, but they couldn't keep them anymore. So they're now, our sanctuary mascots. Yes, they supervise the property and make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
They just walk around.
Yeah, they're very vocal and quite charming. Yeah, we call them the Wizards of Wishing Well because it's Dumbledore and Gandalf.
So cute.
Yeah. So everybody has a story, and it's important to remember that not only do they all, like we all have stories, right? We all have, you know, our histories and the stories that make up who we are now. But to see them evolve and change and blossom, you know, from when the time they arrive to, you know, just over a period of time, it's a good reminder that, you know, just with some extra attention and care, we can all heal. And that's part of the message, right, for Wishing Well, really. It's you know, it's a healing place for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
How many animals do you guys have here?
We have 74. And, yeah, I mean, from, you know, we have 3 cats that, you know, were rescued, and the ducks, you know, who are very charming as well. All the way up, of course, to, you know, the llama and the horses and the cows and steers and donkeys. And so it's, and of course, you know, it's quite a range of, yeah, from little to big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And there's 80 volunteers, is that?
We have over 80 volunteers. We probably have, so our volunteer coordinator can speak to this more accurately, but I believe there are about 40 that are kind of, you know, sort of the hardcore, you know, die hard no matter what the weather, no matter how they're feeling, they come. And we have, you know, 80 that come quite regularly, and then there's probably another 40 that are more, you know, can come sporadically, which is fine, because sometimes you need someone, you know, that can pinch it.
Right.
So we have you know, we're very blessed, we're very lucky, we've got some amazing people, we've created quite a wonderful community here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the animals, because I know for myself, becoming vegan was a choice out of compassionate, like, yes, there's health benefits and obviously for the planet, but I think for me, it's really about the animals.
Yeah.
And so I guess the message that, you know, I want to hear from you is about how, I know some of the animals here were on their way to slaughter,
Yeah.
and thank God you have them, but, you know, obviously there's thousands and thousands of more that every single day are being slaughtered so that, you know, people can have bacon and burgers that are just at the end of the day not even good for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess part of what I want to ask you about is, you know, how do you feel about that whole thing? Because I know we had spoken before about you used to be vegetarian and then you became vegan, and, like, you know, what that process looks like to you and how you feel like we could try to get the message out there a little bit more and help people understand, you know, what it's doing to animals and everything like that.
Well, I think it's such an enormous issue that, and it's quite complex, so there are many layers. So there's no one answer, I don't believe, and so in terms of working toward helping, because, you know, I mean, as you say, I mean, it's billions every year, right? That's just Canada alone. I mean, it's hard to even wrap our minds around those kinds of numbers. But we need people that are out there, you know, stridently, you know, there are certainly some undercover, you know, exposés, which is fantastic, because people often, you know, they'll hear something, oh yeah, it's probably just those, you know, radical animal rights activists, right? And diminish the reality of what's going on. So that you can't deny when you see something on the video, right? So that's very helpful. Certainly there are many athletes now, as you two, you know, young women are also, you know, trying to do and to share. Triathletes, there's all kinds of, you know, exceedingly healthy, strong people out there who are vegan. And so I do think it's important. I know you said that for me as well, the reason I became vegetarian to start with was certainly for ethical reasons. Because otherwise I wouldn't have been doing other things in my life that were not so healthy, but be vegetarian if it was only for my health purposes.
Right.
But and that, I mean, that's huge, right? Because, I mean, the suffering is so enormous, and we're so disconnected in our society, not unintentionally, right? I mean, billions of dollars of the dairy and meat industry go into making sure that we're not aware, right? That we're brainwashed. But I think sometimes when we show like the most horrific, I mean, it's all horrific, but, you know, really, like at the abattoirs or that kind of thing, it's so awful for most people, they don't even want it, they turn right off and they shut down. And while it's understandable because it is horrific, it doesn't advance our goals in terms of helping to raise more awareness and really teaching and helping people to sort of think more about it. Because if it's so horrible you don't want to think about it, you're not going to do anything.
Right.
So you need to have some ability to get a little bit closer to the issues in your own life, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you know, there are videos, but you can turn them off. Or, I mean, for years I read a lot of magazines, I read a lot of books. Sometimes it's too painful. Put it down, right? You inch toward it. It's not an all or nothing, otherwise, we collapse. So I think, so we need to see, and I think more and more people, and go to any, a bookstore, I mean, there's zillions of vegetarians certainly, and now lots and lots of wonderful vegan cookbooks.
Right.
And that's a key thing too, is that it's not like we're out there suffering to be vegan.
Right.
Like, boy, I wish I could do this, but I just can't.
Right.
There's so much great food.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That
Amazing,
and it's fun to experiment, and it's a little bit of a learning curve, no question.
Yeah.
But when you first learn to cook, even if you cook with your meat and your vegetables around, suddenly you take out the meat, it's like, like where's my main course, right? So you got to learn, but when you start learning to cook, you're learning, right? So, and goodness knows hopefully we're learning till the day we die about all kinds of things in life.
Right.
So it's fun, and we can do cooking classes together. There's all, and there's lots of stuff online, of course. So I think we need to make it, so again, it's multi-pronged. So yes, we need the awareness of the suffering. I mean, that has to, because it's true. And frankly, it behooves us to pay some attention. I mean, lucky us that we can shut our eyes or go into the house where it's warm or put on a coat and forget about it for a while.
Right.
Well, the suffering's going on all the time as we speak.
Right.
So, but we need to take it as humans, I think, and those of us who are sensitive and empathic have to take it in doses, right? Otherwise it's so overwhelming we can collapse.
Right.
If we collapse, we're not doing anybody any good.
Right.
So that's the importance of community as well. So I think there's the fun factor, right? That there's all kinds of delicious food out there that we can eat. It's obviously healthy for us. I mean, it's quite obvious now, right? There's lots of information out there. It's just no matter what approach we take. So as we've talked about, not everybody buys into something, right? Not everybody comes at something through the same door.
Right.
It doesn't really matter how they get there.
Right.
There are many paths, right? So you can talk to somebody about the environment, and Cowspiracy is a great example about the degradation. I mean, it's unbelievable, and the one thing that no one's talking about, it's okay for them to talk about car emissions. We're talking about the intensive agricultural business. So there's the environment. There absolutely is, of course, our health, and if nothing else, there's those two. It's hard to imagine someone is not moved by the suffering, and also talked about, because some people say, I miss, I couldn't live without cheese, or I couldn't live without, I mean, that's obviously an exaggeration.
Yes.
We don't all can, And, the idea isn't just to live, but it's to thrive, right? But I think that balancing, our taste buds.
Right.
I love cheese too. There's no question. I used to eat a lot of it, and I enjoyed it very much. So I mean, I'd be fibbing. I'd be disingenuous to say otherwise. But so what?
Don't you
So
feel like your taste buds change?
they do change.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure now. Like maybe it would be too creamy for me,
Yeah.
or the taste. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yes, but I've heard from people that that do sort of go back, like because you try a little, you go back and forth, and that's often how we make changes, right? The graph never goes up straight.
Right.
There's a bit of this, right? And any improvement or change in our lives.
Yeah.
So yes, I think our taste buds do change. But even if we were to miss something,
Right.
if you balance your taste buds with the vastness of the suffering,
Right.
there is no balance.
Right.
So sometimes you just gotta say, listen, I don't want to be a party to that. I don't want to contribute.
Right.
Right? We have to go to sleep and be comfortable with ourselves, and know that we're living with our integrity. Right? How do you, and if you don't mind contributing to suffering, then that's a whole other area of discourse. Right?
So how do you make the decision of like, okay, that's it, I've been a vegetarian all these years, but now I'm going to be full vegan? Like, where did that decision come in?
It's a good question. I think it was really just, there was no one thing. I think I just really got, for whatever reason, really started to think about the life of the dairy cattle. And their lives are so much worse in some ways than even the beef cows. I mean, it's hard to
So
believe.
sad.
But yeah, but the problem, one big problem is that everybody says, well, they don't die because they're giving milk, right? They're not being
They
killed.
die
for
from
this.
exhaustion.
Well, exactly, exactly. I mean, you know, and their emotional lives are horrible.
Yeah.
Babies, you know, being ripped away from them, and so that's the whole veal industry issue. And then they're kept, you know, they're impregnated, you know, certainly, basically raped, you know, it's against their will. And as the lactation process, as the amount that they can create decreases, just because their bodies are exhausted, as you say,
Yeah.
they're really not of any use anymore to the farmers, so they wind up going off to slaughter anyway. So it's just, you know,
All those
elongated.
hamburgers that people love so much.
Yeah. There are some great veggie burgers out there.
Absolutely.
You know, again, we don't have to suffer, you know,
Right.
and we can feel good about, it's certainly better for our own, I mean, people are dying, you know, and if you look in the obituaries, that's, you know, you're too young maybe, but I've known a lot of people, unfortunately, you know, in my life or whatever, that have died, and so, but I mean, the heart disease, you know,
Cancer and everything.
Everything.
It's interesting because, you know, one of the things that, you know, people, when someone finds out they have cancer, they're told to eliminate, you know, meat products and stuff like that from their diet right away.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing to think about, like, why not think about prevention, and instead of doing it when it's already, you know, a problem.
Why are we only doing
radical
that?
concept?
You know, yeah, and you know, if I do feel like maybe it's, you know, like you mentioned before, it can be hard to reach everybody on one level. Like different things mean different things to different people. So I guess like, what do you, beyond that, how do you feel we can reach out to more people, maybe even like help people learn about the sanctuary a little bit more, maybe having people come out here to actually meet the animals. I think it can be a part of the process of like making the connection between what they have on their plate and like where it actually came from.
Right.
So like visits obviously would be one thing.
Right,
but
so we have our tours, and we have school groups that we're looking to, you know, keep increasing the numbers of schools and students that come, because that's wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah.
And it's critically important. That's why, you know, we have people come here. We haven't been out to other places really, because then it's an intellectual exercise, which is much harder for all of us to make fundamental changes based on an intellectual understanding. We have to somehow feel it, right? It has to feel it in our muscles, in our bones, in our soul. And but we don't proselytize here either, right? So we don't have people coming and saying, now you see that, this is your hamburger, so don't eat it.
Right.
Because, you know, nobody likes that.
Right.
You know, if you're 5 or you're 55, no one wants a finger wagged at them. So, but we do share information. So we will point out, we do have 3 beautiful Black Angus steers. And, you know, we often see in restaurants, now proudly serving Black Angus. So I will share with people and say, look at these beautiful black bovines. And this is a Black Angus.
Yeah.
It's not just words on a menu or on
Right.
a billboard, right?
Packaged all beautifully so that you don't really put 2 and 2 together.
Look at
That's
our
a
eyes.
beautiful, yes.
You know, these gentle beings. And, you know, and when you get to massage the sheep and, you know, you're patting a pig and they come up to you and, they, you know, or you give them a belly rub because they love that, it's hard not to think that, I mean, to think about, well, this pig is the bacon I had, you know, it's not this pig, of course, but it's another pig that was just as deserving of a good life.
Right.
You know, the animals here are really ambassadors for the rest of their species because we can't rescue them all as much as we'd love to. And so the most important thing really is to work with people. So as we change our minds, then, you know, the ripple effect will grow.
Right.
So, yes, so having more and more people here, I mean, we do have events. I mean, we're, you know, frankly, just having us talk together and having, you know, people hopefully are listening and are maybe interested and curious. They can find out and look at our website, and, you know, there's other sanctuaries, of course, and just get some information. Information is critical, because without awareness, you can't even begin to approximate change.
Right.
So we need to learn. You know, we've had events here and lectures and workshops and parties, weddings, you know, all kinds of things. So the more people that know about us, right, the more, you know, the word gets out. It's a slow process, unfortunately, but hopefully we can expedite that.
Actually, I was going to say that because I used to do meeting site location in a previous life, and as soon as I walked into this room, I was like, this is an amazing space for so many different types of events.
Yes.
So exactly like what you said, weddings, you could do yoga retreats here, you could do all kinds of wellness.
Meditation,
Like that would be amazing in this space, because the feeling that you get in here, the smell of the cedar and just being surrounded by the beautiful sanctuary. I mean, it's just on a whole other frequency. You can feel it right away. It's amazing.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I agree, but it's nice to hear that,
Beautiful. And so
affirmed.
we can fit about 120 people here if it's a meeting style.
Yes, about 120. If it's only yoga, everybody laid out on their mats, 35 to 40.
Okay.
And there are other spaces in the sanctuary as well. We have the classroom portable, and there's also the wonderful farmhouse that has rooms that we can set up for breakout sessions if we're doing more intensive therapeutic workshops or that kind of thing.
So yeah, there was a story that you told us the last time about a sheep. Or was it a few of them at the university?
Yeah, we have a number of sheep.
Testing at a university?
Yeah, they were at University of Guelph for first-year students who are, wanting to become veterinarians. And the sheep were there, and I made sure as much as I can that they weren't doing testing like virulent viruses because we didn't want the rest of our animals to get ill, of course.
Right.
But they were like doing body scoring, which is checking their, body structures and taking their temperature and just becoming familiar with a sheep.
Right.
And then at the end of the semester, they were to be sent off to be euthanized. And needless to say, the students, working with them day after day, they're wonderful animals. You bond with them, you fall in love with them, right? What's not to love? They're adorable, right? So they were very upset and then contacted us. And we said, certainly, you can bring them as long as, they can transport them to us. But it's quite shocking, and I do share this at the tours, that, that still in this day and age, students who are learning to become vets, really, by virtue of the animals being sent off to be euthanized after a semester, is really saying, life isn't all that valuable. Thanks for your time.
Right. Yeah.
That's not, I don't want a vet who feels that way about the life of an animal. We hope that they would appreciate the sanctity of all living beings.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very disturbing, and we also have, of course, you were talking about slaughter. Many of our pigs arrived as little piglets. They were going off to finishing barns, which is where they get fattened up before going to slaughter. So it's sort of an intermediary process.
Right.
And thank goodness they fell off the trucks, and somebody saw them, or they were rescued. It was sort of a team effort to get them here. But like Yoda, who's our first one that had fallen off the truck here, and when you look at baby pictures of him, his ears are enormous, and he's little, but he's grown into his ears in the interim. But he had like scabs and scratches, and he was he was obviously banged up, But they're very forgiving, and animals are more naturally in the moment. They're much better able to do like I don't know if they've all read Eckhart Tolle or something. They're in the now, in the present,
right?
But especially when they come as young animals, right? And all they really know is love, right? Since then, so they just they're delightful. We have two pigs here that were on a farm where the men who were allegedly running the farm have been accused of cruelty. They've been charged, not accused, charged with cruelty. And they had to cannibalize other pigs in order to survive. There were animals dying there, dead there. Yeah, it was just a nightmare. The OSPCA can't tell us for their own reasons of confidentiality, because I would love to have known where this farm was and find out what's going on. And I'm sure they've got a slap on a wrist. But they came, they were already adult pigs, young adults, because they obviously were going to be sent off to be killed. So they usually are sent off around 2-ish.
Right.
So they were still reasonably fully grown, and came to us in bad shape and angry and listen, they've been, they were traumatized.
Yeah.
So they've come around tremendously, but still, we still have to be a little bit cautious with one of them, Truffle. He can seem fine, and then all of a sudden he'll kind of turn around and go, at 500 or 600 pounds, it's not like,
it's not
a little nip.
Right.
So we have to be careful, and like with all of us, they're animals, as are we, right?
Yeah.
We have to be cautious, and we have to learn about body language and understand what we can and what they will accept from us, right? We're here to help them, right? They're not here to serve our needs.
Right.
That's a big thing here at the sanctuaries. This is their home.
Right.
We're here really to serve them, and hopefully serve people in general, right? To understand that we're all connected.
Right.
As you saw in our logo, and connection with all is in the earth. Right?
What's the peace pole? That was something said in there, right? Something to do with...
It says, "May peace prevail on earth." And we have it in several languages. We also have it in Braille. So, because, there are many ways to see. We don't just see with our eyes. We can see with our hearts, our minds, right? So
beautiful.
But it's quite lovely. And we have the peace doves on top. And we had a beautiful unveiling ceremony a few years ago. And the idea of that, and we start our tours there, the idea of that is that that's the anchor. That to me is sort of the starting point. And that's my goal for this sanctuary, is to help increase the peace we feel within, with each other, with the environment, with the animals, with the whole thing, the whole gestalt of it, right? And that it will grow beyond, not just that they come here and feel good and then leave and that's the end of it, but that we start to, make some changes, help people feel better, feel connected, and that will grow beyond the sanctuary.
Yes.
Right? I want to make a difference in the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so we wanted to also, let me pause.
Yeah, what are you going to do, the thank you thing now?
No.
Or are you
we're
going to
not
volunteer?
volunteers.
Yeah.
What can people do to help?
Yeah.
Show us the money.
Give us $1 million today.
Each. Let's think big. Let's not minimize.
No, that's why we're having that conversation with Elizabeth. I'm like, let's think big. How much money do you want to make? Let's make this happen. Okay.
That's right.
So we wanted to ask what other ways people can contribute besides donations, obviously on the website, and then
Volunteering their time.
yes.
Yeah. So we do have a volunteer application form on our website. So people can it's very easy, and we have an amazing volunteer coordinator, Mona. So
She's awesome.
she is awesome, and she's huggable. She's sort of like
she's
everyone's
really sweet.
favorite grandmother type, just,
Yeah.
and she loves doing what she's doing. She was made for this
Yeah.
position, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody loves Mona. So she gets in touch with people in short order, and then talk and come up here and get a sense of things. Now, volunteering, of course, most people do want to come and spend time with the animals, and it's understandable. But not everybody wants to, or maybe they would like to every once in a while. But there's so much more that they can do. They don't actually physically need to be here, because there's things that people can do. They can raise awareness for us by even postering. Yeah, we have nice posters people can put out in different, in Toronto and Barrie, wherever they live, right? Just to let people know. Obviously, they could have all kinds of interesting. We're limited by our imagination only.
Right.
So they could create any kind of fundraising event on our behalf, and either we can be there to support it or not, and but we can show a little video, or there's any number of things. We just need to be creative.
Right.
So because some people have said, well, I live too far to come every week. That's great.
Right.
Do something where you are. You don't have to be here. But people of course are always welcome here.
Right.
Yeah. So
Donations on the website.
Yeah.
Hosting events here.
Yes.
Another way.
Yes, absolutely.
Fundraising at other locations too.
Right.
Team building, so it could be corporate. We've had several companies, they offer volunteer days for their employees. They've chosen to come here, so that's kind of a nice thing. And so they spread the word too. So there's lots of ways.
Perfect. No, that's great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we just wanted to thank you so much for having us here at your beautiful sanctuary. It's been amazing.
I'm delighted.
again.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the two of you, because you're embarking on a wonderful journey, and I'm thrilled and honored that you decided to include us to be part of that. So thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Great being here. Yeah, thanks so much, Brenda.
my pleasure.